Hello, earworms, those lovely little mental parasites. And today it's din 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 do the Mario din din din. Last night I was waiting for a new vlog from Skazius, and actually now it's 6 PM, still no vlog from yesterday. So I mean, the dude's online in Skype, so he's alive, but I don't know what's going on. But earworms are something like, I mean, sometimes they're fun. Something you just have some weird song playing, you know, mental tape loop or something like. Sometimes that's entertaining for a while. If you have certain song just going on. But my earworm seems to be rather irritating. Let's put it that way. At the same time, I can't help myself for laughing at them, because a few days ago it was Angels Crying by E-Type, and some time ago it was what, Ayo Captain Jack, so Captain Jack obviously, and Superhero Love by Aqua. My earworms seems to be, well, the genre is most likely to be, you know, 90s pop, or not this 90s dance pop. I remember sometime during last fall it was Cotton Eye Joe by Rednecks for a few weeks actually straight, and that was the original version with the clips of the music video flashing through. And I've actually heard a few club mixes from that song, but that was the original, that was just droning. If it is your favorite song at the moment, whatever it is you're constantly playing, that's fine. But then we have those kind of weird, well, earworms. I think it's brainworm when it's something that's been released, you know, decades ago. So I don't think it's an earworm then, it's a brainworm. And sometimes those songs can be rather irritating, as I already said. But if it is your favorite song at the moment, of course, because you're into it, you're into that song at the but for me, almost always 90s dance pop, like Aqua, E-Type, DJ Bobo and all that. But that was music that was popular when I was certain aged, whatever is the right term to put it once again. Yesterday I hosted a hangout on Google Plus for about 50 viewers, which was a nice number. And someone asked me what is my most highest viewer number ever what comes to hangouts, and I really don't know. I think it was something like, for some reason I have number 75 in my mind, but I'm not sure. Hangouts are a very nice way for real-time communication, because it's like hosting a talk show. When you're streaming you have OBS and all that, all those things, all that stuff, the interface, and once you start the stream, there's not much you can do during your stream while changing scenes and all that. But Hangouts is a great media, in my opinion, for real-time broadcasting, because it offers you quite a lot of tools. You know, there's screen sharing that you can do, and then the Q&A function and more that I really like, and I would like to do more Hangouts. And I've been playing around with an idea that I would make them regularly, like weekly, for example, and I would really like it. I would really enjoy it, because making videos is, well, I've talked about this earlier in multiple occasions, but video is delayed communication. It's format for delayed communication, because when this comes out, people will react later, and if they comment, for example, I see that comment later, so there's a time gap. But when you're doing Hangouts, it's right there, right then. Oh, well, there is a delay, but 10-15 seconds. And during that Hangout, somebody asked me, is it possible to make it, or is it possible to get well-known or popular on YouTube if you are a Finnish person speaking, well, what in Finnish is called rally English, rally englanti, or race car English, and that's a term that people use when they mean this kind of a clumsy, very heavily accented English. Well, pretty much the same stuff that I'm speaking, or almost same stuff, because well, late 70s and during 80s, let's put it this way, I can't say early 80s, but during 80s, late 70s, we had these race car drivers, or rally car drivers, and when they got interviewed, they were talking with this clumsy English with very, very, very heavy Finnish accent. And it was something like, "Car was very good, but our vehicle was quite shitty." So car was very good, but our vehicle was rather shitty. And even I'm not pronouncing some things right. And that's a test that I did yesterday or during last night, and I was kind of bummed about it, because I have this digital tape recorder that, for example, doctors use if they want to make audio memos. They start recording, then talk about this big device. I started thinking about, well, after that question, is it possible to make it if you're speaking kind of clumsy, very heavily accented English? Is it possible to make it on international YouTube? Well, quick answer, yes, because if people can understand what you're saying and the things you are saying, as the thing you're speaking about is interesting, people will watch and people will be interested about what you're saying. Well, YouTube is like music business. There are people who are very, very, very popular, and their content is quite empty. But you can make it up to a certain extent. Well, don't expect to be a megastar with this kind of output that I'm speaking, but it doesn't matter, because you have well, you can see those, for example, Battlefield 4 video makers whose native language isn't English, so they are speaking with relatively hard accent, relatively heavy accent, and still they have a lot of people watching their videos. So I can't see the difference between them and someone who's making blogs. If the things you are saying are interesting, people will watch, and that has always been my opinion. But back to that small recorder. I made a test because, well, this is not my spoken English. This what you are hearing right now is what happens when I'm speaking and thinking at the same time, when I know that I'm delivering. So I made this small test. I started recording, and then I just started talking whatever came to my mind. And that English that got on tape memory card, well, it's actually not even a memory card, internal memory, but anyway, was much more fluent and much more clearly pronounced than what I'm speaking now. And same thing if I'm talking with someone on Skype whose native language isn't Finnish. I mean, we have a common language, and that's English. For example, this person is from, let's say, Netherlands. So English isn't his or hers main language. And obviously I'm from Finland, so English isn't my first language also, but English is our common language. I'm delivering much more clearly. I kind of have to think more while I'm speaking, and because English isn't my native language, I have to go through this kind of an inner translating process where the seed of the thought is in Finnish. I have to translate it to English in real time and then speak it out. And since I'm not using scripts or anything like that, this is just me ad-libbing. And you can hear it also that I'm ad-libbing, because there are certain things that I'm pronouncing completely, and then there are certain parts in my English that's very, very clear. So, and I think some people don't like it. They want this fluent professional thing all the way through. Well, yesterday was kind of a productive day. I had a hangout, then I did a live stream with BF3, and then I did all these small tests and things. I tried to make a video in English yesterday, but it was a complete brain fart, because I knew what I wanted to say, but it came out pretty much as a stumped frog. Interesting image, but anyway, I tried to talk about vlogging gear in a sense that what's enough, what's good enough, because when I first started vlogging, I was using this camera. Actually, back then I was using an older camera. After that I was using my phone / iPad, and then I bought this camera, and I've been using this ever since. What comes to my kind of a basic vlogging gear. When I started meeting other Finnish vloggers, I got some relatively strange looks. So, okay, you're doing your stuff with that. Yeah. This is a Canon PowerShot 16 megapixel point and shoot camera, and those people were kind of wheeling around with these DSLR cameras and external microphones rigged up to those cameras. You know, the what is called in English, that socket that you can put your flash device. You can also mount a microphone. For example, Rode is making one of those microphones that you can hook up to that socket. So people were going around those, or camcorders and something like that. But if you are on the move most of the time when you're vlogging like me, I hardly ever, I can't say never, but hardly ever, I'm not sitting still or when vlogging. I'm almost always on the move. So I need something that's small, and that's why point and shoots are good. And one question I also got or received during those early days. Is it hard to frame your video? But no, not really, because once you get the hang of the angle that you have to keep your camera not here, but here, it's not actually all that hard. You don't need that small screen where you can see yourself in order to kind of line up your video. And that small screen is, well, I can't do stuff with cameras that have that lens or that small screen. Even on my Samsung, usually when I'm doing videos with it, it's not pointing at me, that screen. It's always pointing the other way, because it's way too easy to just keep looking at your own image from that screen, but the viewer is there, not there. iPhones are the same thing. You have, if you're using the what it is, front-facing camera, anyway, the camera that's on the same side than your screen. That's also kind of distractive, because it's so easy to just stare at your own picture. And also with this kind of setup, if someone walks past me, I can't see behind me, and that's a good thing in my opinion, because it's very easy to stumble with your words when you start watching that screen. Okay, he looked back. or turned around and looked behind. What the hell is that person doing? So I can't see what's happening behind me. And that's also, well, that's a good thing for in my opinion, especially when I'm making videos in English, because this is hard enough already what comes to, well, not finding words that much, but what comes to pronouncing words. That's the most hardest thing for me. Although now if you give me a sheet, kind of script, and there are things that I have to say, I can read them clearly. But when I'm ad-libbing in English, it's always a bit of a mess, because I'm pronouncing certain things, well, as you can see, certain things. I'm pronouncing them and some sentence orders inside sentences are off. But I really don't care, because if someone wants to watch, they watch. And this is the same thing that well, many of you can't see Skaz's videos, but I made a video, what, 3 days ago, and Skaz commented that video on one of his vlogs from, not yesterday, but the day before that. It's basically the same thing, that both of us are making this stuff basically for ourselves and for those who are interested to watch. I mean, if I would like to make content that would draw in more people, there would be certain elements in those videos that would be appealing to kind of a mainstream audience. But since there aren't, tough luck. Because if someone wants to watch, they will watch. If they don't want to, they don't. It's not that you're trying to make it. You're trying to be this YouTube star. Because actually being YouTube famous just by itself doesn't really mean all that much. But if you are YouTube famous, it offers you certain opportunities elsewhere. But just by on its own, being famous on the internet, it really doesn't matter all that much. During the last few weeks, I've watched English videos only. There's only one Finnish video that I have watched during the last, what, 3 weeks, I think. 3 weeks or more. And I'm thinking it as a kind of a purification ritual. I'm feeling more productive now when kind of making videos in English, watching international content in English. So there are more things happening here. And it's the same thing if you are a songwriter. Once again, music example, but hey, that's my game. If you are a songwriter and you're writing a song it's not moving, and you're writing it with a guitar, and it's not going anywhere, that piece of song, switch to piano, for example. Even if you can hardly play piano, make that switch. If you are a guitar player, piano player, or keyboard player, there's these certain things that come natural with that instrument. There are these certain keys, certain fingerings, certain melody lines that will they'll stick. Even if you want to do something that you haven't done before, still your fingers, your muscle memory is directing your fingers in a certain way. So you have to break that lock. You have to kind of break the habit. And that's why, well, for example, I'm using guitars, or guitar, both electric and acoustic, bass, keyboards, sequencers, whatever. Even if I'm writing, let's say, for example, this kind of slow doom piece that's 12 minutes long, at some point, if I'm feeling that this thing is not getting anywhere, I've used guitar and bass, for example. I'll switch to sequencers, and I start approaching that song like it was an electric piece. So that way I have to break this certain habit. And same thing applies to, well, any creative thing. But blogging is kind of my second passion. So let's link to it. Or let's link that music thing to blogging. You have to kind of break your niche at some point. And I was talking about this a few days ago. Actually, I think it was in my last video I was talking about the same thing. And I think this was kind of my way to break the chain, because I've been making V-Day vlogs for almost 2 years now. Well, I stopped making public uploads. Last year it was, well, there was this period that I wasn't uploading them out in public. It was late last summer, early last fall, because I watched back those videos and it was me talking to myself, and I was talking about things that weren't meant for other people. So I stopped uploading them. I'm still making them, but I'm not uploading them. And longest V-Day episode that exists is almost 2 hours long. And it's basically just me raging at the camera. And yeah, I had certain issues back then, well, I still do. But that was one of those days. And those videos are long. They're anything from half an hour to that almost 2 hours. Those are just for me. And there was this guy on yesterday's hangout that came in and prove me wrong, you haven't done anything since those days. It's easy to say because that person doesn't know me and he doesn't understand my reasonings, my motives, why I'm making vlogs. Because I don't care about sub count. I mean, of course, I care about my viewers. And there's a difference. Sub count doesn't matter. It's just a number. But I care about my viewers. Not that I want to please them or pamper them. But it matters to me that there are people who are actually watching these videos because of these videos. Not because they are waiting for that next crap storm to come. And it's kind of refreshing because making videos in English kind of reveals to me who are my kind of real viewers. That's one way to measure it, kind of. Because these videos are being watched. There are people watching. The view count is not hundreds of viewers, but there are viewers. So there are actually people who care about what I'm talking about. And that's the thing that matters, not the sub count. It's easy to just sub channels and never watch their videos. All you have to do is click subscribe. And that's it, you can forget about those channels. But still you are a subscriber of those channels. It would be nice if there would be this kind of a feature that if someone subscribes to your channel but doesn't watch any of your videos during the period of, let's say, 6 months, that subscription would be removed from that person's account. I don't know if you understood anything I said. But anyway, if you subscribe a channel and you don't watch any of the videos from that channel in a time period of, let's say, 6 months, that subscription would be deleted. Because now there are a lot of people who are just hanging on. There are subscribers, but they're not watching. So it would make things a whole lot more clearer for the content creators, the owners of the channel, people who are making videos. They would get this kind of a very, very close and simple view to their actual, well, popularity. But anyway, now I'm rambling. But that's kind of my plan. Don't plan, just ramble. Some people don't like this kind of a content simply because there are too many subjects in a video that's too long. Because there are always those, what I would call purists, or other way to put it, people who just don't get it. Like dog without balls, just not getting it. Who are saying that only one topic per video and it shouldn't be longer than 3 minutes because people will leave. And it's impossible to do that if you're making content like this. You're just kind of talking what comes to your mind. Just press record, start talking, whatever comes out during that day. And you can't do this because some people think that vlogging is something that you do with a static camera, with a script, and all lighting and all that stuff. For some people that's vlogging. For some people vlogging is what I'm doing now. And there's a difference, and I don't really know if there's a term for those kind of videos and this kind of videos, because basically both of those videos are vlogs. Well, I feel that it's a restriction that you have to stay in this certain time span. Yes, I know the what the hell is that word again? Concentration span of the internet is more or less 3 minutes. If you're good at it, maybe 5. During my last few videos, I haven't been talking about my family, about my life all that much. Simply because I wanted to speak these things out. Because I'm relatively frustrated to the fact that most videos that I see or I watch, well, there are too many people who are making these videos that are kind of standardized, or what it is. So they are doing their stuff using this kind of a short format, you know, short videos, stay in topic and all that. Even though I know that they are able to do more. I mean, they are able to challenge their viewers and themselves. Some people need pressure in order to push through in their lives. If they don't have that kind of sense of pressure, they'll get ill. You know, for example, those some business guys, they need that constant pressure in order to work properly. And when that pressure has been taken away from them, they become just, you know, nerve wrecks. So they need that kind of a constant grind, hurry, do, go, in order to function. Well, I need challenge. I need something that challenges me mentally. That's one of the reasons why I don't like the current state of, well, for example, Finnish YouTube. Battery! Yeah, it died. You know those bags or containers you can use for your camera if you want to take underwater pictures? I need a camera heater. Well, the other alternative being some kind of a diesel generator, backpack model. Hook it up to your camera and vroom, no battery problems. Although you could run out of fuel. But it's easier to find a gas station than it is to find a spare battery when on the road. Don't look at me like that. Once again, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And I've been using jump cuts more than I've used in the past. just because I like longer videos, but I'm trying to cut out more in order to make it a bit more fluent. The fact that video is a long one doesn't mean it has to be droning. So I'm trying to cut out those moments, or if I can clearly see that I'm repeating myself over and over again. But anyways, I think that's that. So until next time, see ya!